department for 26 years, and I initially was hired on as a single function paramedic. Back in the 80s, you could decide whether you wanted to go on the fire side or if you wanted to go the paramedic route. So I really didn't have any great desire to run into a burning building. So I chose the paramedic route, and certainly was a great fit, and I didn't realize how much I would really like it until I started doing it. I did that for a number of years and went back out to the field and then promoted to captain and was out in the field and responsible for what we call a battalion, which is a specific geographic area. And then I had 6 to 8 paramedic ambulances that I was responsible for. Then I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. It's really an honor, honestly. It truly is. You know, it's interesting. I was the Grand Marshal in one of our little neighborhood community parades a year ago, and that was the Studio City Valley Village. So, you know, it was like, wow, is this a new career for me? You know, I have to tell you, when you just look at the category of first responders, it's really fascinating. Not just me, because, you know, I've kind of transitioned. You know, when I came out of the field and into a management position to help deliver this program and the message of preparedness, I never like to minimize what my coworkers and my peers are doing out there, because, you know, we put our lives on the line every day. And certainly for LA, you know, there's a lot of controversy going on right now, and we're really in the news a lot. But, you know, none of that should ever take away from any person who does this as a career, who truly puts their life and their family in a position where, you know what, you never know. You never know what's going to happen depending upon the call that you answer. And with that being said, I think it's amazing, and I think it's fantastic that the first responders are being honored in such a way. Well, you know, the curriculum is set because, again, it's a national model. So we take them through basic preparedness, which really discusses earthquake, fire, flood, tornado, hurricane, you know, all of the major man-made disasters. But they also have a module for terrorism awareness, which, as we all know, you know, the threat exists. It's real. It's there. And we really do need to heed that message. And we individually, we need to make sure that we are doing all that we can to ready ourselves. And so that's part of that training. The other part is fire suppression, where we teach them how to use a fire extinguisher. We teach them how to put out a small fire so that they don't feel such anxiety should they be faced with that. We talk about triage. So, you know, if you have a disaster and or when you have one, and you have potentially a lot of hurt and injured victims, you have to have some skills to decide who you can save and who you can't. So that's part of it. The other part is bandaging and splinting, you know, how to treat someone with their injuries or for their injuries to hopefully sustain life, make them more comfortable. We do light search and rescue, so we talk about building construction, and we talk about single-family dwellings, typically wood construction, and you know, and then of course the biggest challenge really is, how do you keep the people engaged once you train them? You know, it would be great if we could control these natural disasters. However, we know that we can't. So you have to try to think of little refreshers or other exercises in which you can bring some folks together and have them practice these skills. Bottom line is, as you know, after a disaster, your first responders are not coming. we're showing up. We're not going to be driving up and down your street. We're not going to be knocking on your door. You're going to be handling large fires and collapses and incidences, and we're going to hope that through this training, which, by the way, is free. We've always heard the message 72 hours, but, truthfully, you should be thinking 2 weeks to a month, because in Japan, following the earthquake, last year, it was almost a month before they got water. Hats off to everybody for the fact that you recognize the men and women as your first responders in police and fire and all the agencies involved under the umbrella of first responders, and that you really truly understand the sacrifices that are made, and that each and every person who is a first responder does it because it's their passion and because we want to make a difference. We want to make sure people feel safe, and we want to make sure that when they have to call 911, that they know that they're going to get the best of care, regardless where they are in terms of geographics. So it's not that one is better than any other. We're all in it together, whether we're first responders or we're citizens. But we are in this endeavor together, and if we can, I think, as a society, if we can remember that, and if we can break down some of the barriers that we all have, I think that in the face of danger, in the face of catastrophe, we certainly